Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com. In 2016, the Tudor Heritage Black Bay received in-house calibers. Well, that's exactly what we have right here today. The Tudor Heritage Black Bay Red in stainless steel, 41 millimeters in diameter. It's 49.8 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip. It has a thickness with this case back strap of 16.1 millimeters and a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. On this textile strap, which is a wraparound design, you can see how it sits on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. It is thick. That's one of the characteristics of the 41 millimeter and 43 millimeter Black Bays. But it's a sports watch, so that's not altogether a drawback. You can see as I move further away from the camera, the size seems more natural. My hand is actually quite a bit larger than you'd guess at first glance, and so is my arm, so these close shots somewhat distort the size of the watch, making it look larger. The strap here is, well, strictly speaking, not a NATO strap, but it's like a NATO strap. It has a stitch that's alternately black and red, and you can see it creates a fascinating color combination when viewed at a distance, a sort of muted rust red. We have a conventional junction that wraps around the spring bars. So rather than being some sort of a slung NATO strap that can be pulled out, it is actually anchored to the spring bars, and you need to remove the spring bars to get the strap off. Also, unlike a conventional NATO, which uses a gooseneck locking system, this has a conventional pin buckle. You can see it uses conventional perforations, and we have all the hardware here in steel. So this is a very upscale textile strap. You can see that the strap minders are in steel, alternately satinated and polished with some faceting. That's handsome nuance there. You can see there is a counterweighted clevis style pin buckle with the Tudor Shield logo built into it. These in-house caliber Tudor watches tend to feature the 1968 and prior rose logo on the crowns, and then the Shield logo, which was mid-1968 forward, they feature that on their dials. The case here is remarkably fresh, as the original owner never removed the packing stickers, so his loss is your gain. You can see that the stem tube assembly is surrounded by an anodized aluminum surround. We do have a screw-down crown here, 200 meters of water resistance. The case flank is polished, the lug hoods are satinated, then we have this little bevel along the edges, a reminder of the era when Rolex and Tudor shared cases and both featured these hand-laid bevels. Now, this isn't hand-laid, but bevels disappeared long ago on Rolex watches, so even though these are mechanically applied, it's nostalgic and fun to see them there. We have a micro knurling that makes it easier to grip the bezel when it might be wet or slimy. Now, you can see that we have a very chunky bezel action, and as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a 5-click per 5-second bezel. So 5 times 12, and that is a 60-click bezel. I have a theory that Tudor does this to differentiate its bezel actions from Rolex, because Rolex uses 120-click bezels, and these use 60-click bezels. They feel and they sound different. Now, what you'll also note here is that these still feature anodized aluminum inserts. You can line up this luminescent pearl with the minute hand, and then you have a 0 to 60-minute count-up timer. We have gold-plated indices and hands, the hands designed to evoke the Tudor snowflake submariners of the late 60s through mid-70s. We have a chapter ring-style track for the seconds and minutes outboard, and being all applique index, this is far more upscale than the no-guard Tudor and Rolex submariners of the 50s and early 60s that this design references. The dial features golden gilt print and a matte surface to resist glare. The watch does feature hacking seconds, though you can't see it underneath this case back. We have Tudor caliber MT5602. Bidirectional automatic winding with a 70-hour power reserve, a stop seconds feature. It pivots on 25 joules, beats weight 8 beats per second. It's durable with a rotor bearing rather than a jeweled staff, a full balance bridge, and a free sprung balance. It is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer, and it has an anti-magnetic silicone hairspring. A lot of refinements. Silicone isn't even common on modern Rolex movements, so that is a feather in Tudor's cap. Let's take a quick look at the Loom here. This dive watch has plenty of Loom. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.